Okay, first of all, I'm sorry. In the last episode, when I asked you to give me feedback about the format I used in that video, a lot of people said that use a script. Yeah, so, well, this video doesn't have a script, but that is only because this came out so suddenly. I was going to do a script for the next two videos I have actually planned for this lore talk series. There will be more videos, but this came so suddenly that I didn't have that much time to plan this, but forgive me. This video should be rather quick, because this is about the ending of Wild and Hornet Hermit. Most of you have probably already seen it, and those of you who haven't, I'm not really sure if you should, because that's kind of the thing in this video. That ending wasn't good. To be honest, it was shit. It was full-on shit. And here in this video I'm going to explain why that is and how it could have been better. How it could have been really much better. But yeah, most of you have seen the video I posted, the ending of Wild and Hornet Hermit in a nutshell. Well, and that kind of summarized the ending as well as I could. But those of you who haven't read the Wild and Hornet Hermit, let me explain what happened. Actually, let me Google it real quick so I can have a little reference for myself what I'm talking about. Okay. The whole thing started from the chapter 48. That was kinda the first chapter of the ending arc. And first of all, it came out rather suddenly. We didn't have any kind of a indication that the ending was nearing, even though we kinda could guess that the 50th episode, or rather chapter, would be the last one, but we didn't still get any kind of indication that the ending was near, although that really isn't the biggest problem, because even Forbidden Scrollery kinda acted that way. But in Forbidden Scrollery we still had this some kind of a gradual build up to the ending, and when we saw Yukari appearing we know that okay, shit's going to get real. But in this manga, Wild and Hornet Hermit, we didn't get anything to point out that the ending was near, but, well, it wasn't the biggest problem. The chapter 48 was rather good. It started really dramatic. Reimu was apparently some sort of got autism and suffered brain death, or something like that. Her body was alive, but her soul was kind of like, yeah, I'm gone. So, she was basically dead. So that was kind of a... With that punchline, it was really like we got an idea that okay, this shit is not playing around. The shit's going to hit the fan, and that was good. I enjoyed that episode. It got like really good vibe to the ending. And then we go to the chapter 49, and the build-up continues. It turns out Cousin is behind Reimu's soul being taken away, and well, Reimu is now in hell. And here I be like, okay, and well, the build-up is real. And then we don't get the chapter 50, we get 49.5, and shit gets even more crazy with there being an evil version of Cousin, and then there's the other Cousin. Then they two merge, and then there's the ultimate Cousin, who is actually one of the four divas of the mountain. And here I am like, okay, and it really can't get any better. And sadly, that's what happened. It didn't. Because the build-up was so immense that how this all ended was a real letdown. Because Cousin and Reimu battle into hell, and it really seems that Cousin is taking the upper hand, and it seems that Cousin had always been evil for this all this time. Cousin had been evil and had been planning this out to kinda reattach her arm to herself and then, well, beat up and kill Reimu in the process. That was like kinda, it seems that was her plan all along. For this whole series, that had to been her plan. And then we have Tenshi and Komachi appear, and then they figure out Cousin's plan, and then they kinda try to go after her and help Reimu defeat her. And that's where we're left off in the 49.5 chapter of the 100 Hermit. And then comes the chapter 50. It starts off pretty good, the two battle, and Cousin is still really strong. Reimu uses her fantasy seal, and that didn't do shit against Cousin. But then, lo and behold, in comes Tenshi. And here I gotta ask, what does Tenshi do? 1. She defeats Cousin herself. 2. She helps Reimu defeat Cousin. Or 3. She does absolutely jack shit, and that is somehow the reason why Cousin lost. And the answer is obviously third answer, because how Reimu defeated Cousin, it wasn't with Tenshi's help, it was because Tenshi told Reimu that Cousin had given her, well, this happened in the 49.5th episode. At the end of that, Cousin gave Reimu this rice thing, and because Reimu was hungry, so Cousin would battle Reimu at her strongest, I guess. And in comes Tenshi. She didn't see that Cousin gave Reimu anything. She didn't see anything that happened between Reimu and Cousin before she actually arrived to Hell. And then she tells Reimu that Cousin gave Reimu a piece of katana that was used to originally cut Cousin's arm away in that wrapping for that rice cake thingy. She tells her that there is a piece of that blade hidden in that wrapping that she didn't see or didn't even know that it was there, but she still comes in and only tells her that there is that thing hidden within that wrapping. And it turns out Cousin's good side wasn't evil, but it was actually good, and it had been planned all along. There was no evil Cousin. Or I mean, there was Cousin's evil side, but her good side, this was a total mess. Cousin's good side had planned to take down the evil side by hiding a piece of that katana into that wrapping. And then Reimu is like, boy, here is a piece of blade. And then we don't even get to see the battle. It straight up cuts to the scene where Tenshi explained to the other people like Marisa and Sanae what happened, and didn't even tell what actually happened. She just tells that Reimu defeated an evil being that was totally not Cousin, because for some reason the people of Gensokyo can't know that Cousin had an evil arm. For some reason. Like it wouldn't be obvious at this point. Like this shit, you can't really make this shit up. So what I'm getting at here is that the whole thing ended with Cousin's origin and mysteries lost. She had always this kind of a... Her character was always this kind of a mysterious being that we didn't know much about. We knew that she was most likely an Oni, and yes, that was confirmed, and she was even one of the 4 divas of the mountain. But we lost that mystery when that was revealed, and we got to know even her origin story. And what did we gain for that? Absolutely nothing. There was no character development, nothing. And on top of that, even Komachi was ditched in the chapter 50. There was no mention of Komachi anywhere, even though she helped Tenshi to figure out Cousin's plan. And now Komachi is like, she wasn't part of this. So now we only people who know about what happened in Hell and what happened with Cousin and her arm are Reimu, Tenshi, and Cousin herself. After that battle and Reimu defeating Cousin for some reason with her fantasy seal and that piece of plate, don't ask me how that works because I can't figure it out. She separated the arm from Cousin again, then sealed it, and then gave the arm to Cousin because apparently Cousin had been searching for her arm because it had been sealed away and that seal had been weakening, and Cousin, with all that malice she had was sealed in her arm. She was the good cousin and didn't want to become bad again, so she wanted to find her arm and reseal it so she could keep an eye on it. And that happened. And now Cousin has her arm nicely sealed away in her house and nothing was gained. Everyone lived happily ever after. There was no character development whatsoever. Okay, let me give you a small kind of an idea how that ending could have been a lot better. This is just a short brainstorming, but hear me out on this. First of all, cut the initial battle scene from the chapter 50. Make the start of the chapter as compressed as possible. In comes Tenshi. Tenshi used some celestial magic to crack that seal on the portal that Cousin used to get to Hell, and that thing happened. And now, when she has some sort of control over that portal, why wouldn't she just teleport Reimu and Cousin back to Kensokyo? Because Hell is Cousin's home ground in this battle, and Cousin was really powerful being. So instead of having some bullshit Deus Ex Machina piece of katana hidden in some wrapping that Tenshi didn't even see, let's have a scenario where Tenshi comes in, tells Reimu that what up, we know what's happening with Komachi, and we're gonna take you back because she's too powerful here. Then they take her back against Sokyo, and Komachi is waiting there, and now it is 3 against 1. So, and now we have a battle scene. Reimu be like, take on me, and then there's the chorus with Komachi and Tenshi and take on me, and then Cousin is like, take me on, and then they battle. And then, let's say, the animals that had been Cousin's friends team up against Cousin, and that would be the turning point of that battle. Cousin seeing her animal friends coming after her would make her rethink what she has done, what she has become again, and that would make her stop the battle and rethink what has happened. You wouldn't have to separate her arm from the Cousin again. You could actually have a character development going on. Cousin would retain her arm, but she would rethink her actions, and you could have this traditional final boss thing happening for Cousin. They settle the problem, and yeah, everything returns to normal. Everyone could learn the truth about Cousin, and Cousin could actually have character development by retaining her arm. That would have been a satisfying ending. We could have had, like, then with future mangas we could have seen how that affects Gensokyo and Cousin's relationship to other characters. That would have been really satisfying ending and a good way to introduce some character development, but instead Zan decided to ditch all this and just take that arm away. Don't let anyone, any character in the series know about it. Ditch one character completely out of the story and then pretend like nothing ever happened. Horned Hermit's story can basically be ditched completely because it doesn't affect the main story of Touhou in any way. It didn't have any weight whatsoever. And I have to say, this is the first time ever when I've had this kind of a problem with Zan's work. Because usually Zan has really good stories and usually has really satisfying endings to them as well. But this wasn't the case with Horned Hermit. Actually, let me give you some little insight. Horned Hermit's plot, it was good, but the story was jack shit. And here you have to understand what is the difference between plot and the story. The plot in some work of fiction are the events, where it starts, what happens, and where it ends, how it ends. That's the plot. It's a piece by piece combination of events that create the skeletal structure of that work. And then comes in the story. Story is how those events affect the world around those events. That's the story. Story is how those characters change, what those characters think, and how those characters react to those events. That's the story. The story is the character development. The story is the effect those events have. And this manga, Horned Hermit, didn't have story at all. That's my problem with this. It didn't have any effect to anything. The only thing it did is that cousin now has her arm in her house, sealed away in a box. And what does that do? It does nothing. Cousin is still that good old same cousin. And for all we know, because no one knows about it, no one has to know about it. And it doesn't do anything. Their relationships to any character doesn't change. Her relationship to Marisa is the same, her relationship to Sana is the same. Only thing it might change a little is her relationship to Reimu. But on the surface it doesn't change, because for some reason the characters in Touhou universe don't have to know about it. So cousin and Reimu act normal with each other when there are other people around, and I'm so mad about it. Why couldn't we have some proper character development? Why couldn't we see some more interactions with Suika and Yugi, with cousin? That would have been really interesting. What was their relationship before all of this? How they acted as the four divas of the mountain, who could be possibly the fourth diva of the mountain. We didn't get any of this. But yeah, this lore talk turned more into a rant, but yeah. Don't get me wrong, Horned Hermit, even though it lacked the story almost completely, it still gave us some decent insight on Gensokyo and how it works. Cousin being introduced as one of the sages of Gensokyo was a good thing, and that gave us a little more insight, and her interactions with Yukari were the best part of this series. And all the way to the chapter 48, this manga was really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But those 4 chapters, 48, 49, 49.5 and 50, cut those out, and this could have been a really good slice of life manga. But that ending just ruined everything. You could kinda compare this to Game of Thrones. Those who watch it know what I'm talking about. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but I know what happened. And from okay, it went to okay. So yeah, that's what happened. The whole ending was let down, and I believe it was partially due to Sun probably running out of time, but we may never know. We don't know what motivated Sun to do this kind of an ending, but my opinion on things is that it wasn't good ending. Sun could still probably fix it somehow. I doubt that he will, or he would be allowed to, but rewrite the chapter 50, because the build-up on the ending was really intense, and it gave us the feeling that there will be something great happening. But the chapter 50 got just discarded everything. So rewrite that chapter, and I would rethink my take on What Another Hermit. But that will probably never happen, and if it does, I would be really happy. So for now, and for the foreseeable future, forever, I will be completely honest about my feelings about Wild and Hermit. It was a letdown. The ending was a letdown. And until it is fixed, I will keep that opinion. But I'm sorry, this turned out to be a little bit of a rant. So, I have 2 lore talk videos planned. The other it won't be really it won't have a whole script, but it will have some kind of structure, and in that I will go through everything that I'd like to talk about in Grimoire of Usami. And the second video I have planned is actually a full-on theory video, so be on a lookout for that. I won't spoil what it is about, but I will guarantee that most of you will be really happy to hear what it's about. But yeah, I'll stop rambling. This was my opinions about the ending of Wild and Honest Hermit, and I don't force anyone to feel the same about it. Some of you may even like it. I don't blame you for it. You have your own opinions, I have my own. But yeah, this was kind of my take on things. And like always, I'll get on to other things now, and I'll bid you farewell. My name is Touhou, and we'll see in the next video.